What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us here. So we have some exciting news for the metal community at large. The infamous Slayer has decided to reunite. And I will say, before I get into some of the criticisms, I think it's going to be exciting for not only the newer generation of fans to see a Slayer show, which they've never been able to see before, but it's also going to be really cool for the older generation of Slayer fans. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I did see the original Slayer lineup back in 2006, I believe it was, on the Unholy Alliance tour, and hence that's one reason why I put the original lineup here with Dave Lombardo. And talking about the Slayer reunion, I do have two criticisms. My first criticism of it is that nobody really asked for a Slayer reunion, and I can't stand when bands, when the money runs out, of course, they always reunite after they said they were going to retire. But I understand, bands want to get out there and play again. I know Kerry King expressed a lot of concerns about ending Slayer so early, but it does seem like a bit of a cash grab. But like I said, it'll be a good opportunity for the fans. But the Slayer lineup currently that they're going to reunite with is the Paul Bostaff version, which I don't have anything against Paul Bostaff. He's a great drummer. But if Dave Lombardo is still alive, why not try to get Dave Lombardo on board for this tour? And just to sort of put into context some of the background drama of why Slayer retired, it was mostly surrounding the fact that they were sort of starting to grow apart, and Tom Araya here in the middle, the bass player vocalist, wanted to be at home with his kids. He was missing out on a lot of family time. But Kerry King obviously expressed a lot of concern about Slayer just retiring too early. But I will say that it's hopeful, not only for future Slayer performances, but also maybe for their speculation there may be one more Slayer album, which would be cool. I would actually prefer one more Slayer album versus, Slayer reunion, right? One of my other criticisms, like I said, is the fact that as long as Dave Lombardo is still alive, why not try to get him on board? There's a lot of drama between Tom Araya, Kerry King, and Dave Lombardo, unfortunately, and it doesn't seem like they're ever really going to reconcile at this point. But to me, that would be more of a true Slayer reunion, would be to have Dave Lombardo. Obviously, Jeff Hanneman passed away, I think roughly around 2012-13. So unfortunately, we can't, get Jeff Hanneman back. But it brings to mind the whole Pantera reunion, which I think was sort of controversial, maybe a little unethical, for the simple fact that the Abbott brothers, Dime and Vinny, are not here to really approve it. And that was, in a lot of ways, obviously it was more like a Pantera tribute. I understand that it wasn't necessarily a reunion, but it just kind of seemed a little bit like a cash grab. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being too, closed-minded. I just feel like when bands are done, they're done. I really don't want to see Slayer become the next Motley Crue and just make a complete fool out of themselves. But I will say this to end this video: if there's any metal band that should reunite, it's probably Slayer. Let me know your thoughts and your ideas about the Slayer reunion. Are you looking forward to it? Do you think it's a cash grab? Do you think it's just going to turn out to be a complete mess? Or do you think it's going to be awesome? It would be cool to see one more version of Slayer. Like I said, I think we should hopefully expect a final Slayer album. That maybe they could open up the doors to that possibility. But like I said, I don't want to see Slayer become a train wreck and just one of those bands that is constantly grabbing for cash and retiring, and then they come back 2 years later and then they retire. And so anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next one.